Greetings duelist, welcome to 2024. It's a new year and a new opportunity to make some poor life decisions, so I'm glad you're here. The new ban list is live, but it's got nothing to do with us. I'm going to assume you already know what Metaphys does, so I'm going to save some time and just go over the card numbers and card choices. First of all, Metaphys does not have a first turn. How do we fix that? Free synchros! As far as worm support goes, you can't get any better than Swordsoul. In a deck that's at least half worm monsters and Swordsoul cards, you can't go wrong with playing 3 Mo. This card should never brick, and it's a great way to start your turn off. Since we are playing a number of non-worm monsters though, we only have 1 long since you have to discard for its effect. However, we still have 3 emergence to search it if we ever need it. On the very rare occasion where you don't have anything to reveal for Mo, but still draw an emergence, you can use Taia. If everything goes well on your first turn, you should have at least a Grandmaster and a Baronet on your field. 2 negates, 1 for monsters and 1 for anything else. So that's our first turn handled. Grandmaster can banish Metaphys monsters from our graveyard and hand, which is a great way to kickstart our play. Because Taia can send a worm monster from our deck to the graveyard, and Grandmaster can add a Swordsoul card from our deck to our hand, what we can do is we can actually send a Giant Pairfish to the graveyard, like so, and we can bring it back. Metaphys is actually the most ideal deck for you to play Giant Pairfish in. And this way we can bring out our Ragnarok, which can give us a few banished cards, which is a great way to kickstart our play while still giving us a level 10 Synchro. Like that. Now we love to banish cards, and the only thing better than banishing 1 card with Gold Sarcophagus is banishing Necroface, which banishes another 5. And the only thing better than banishing 5 cards with Necroface is banishing 2 Necroface with Aloof Lupine, which is why we play 3. We're playing 3 Aloof Lupine, which can banish either 2 Metaphys monsters, which is great, or it can banish 2 zombies, like 2 Necroface for example, or a Spiritmaster if we need something destroyed. The reason we have 4 zombies in total is so we can use Necroface twice if we don't have it in our hand at the start. That's why we also have Tatsunecro, which is a great way to get these other zombies out of our hand. Because we're playing Tatsunecro, we have to play a few extra Synchro monsters to help us banish our stuff. So we have Squire Saga, which helps us banish our level 4s, we have Red Eye Zombie Dragon Lord for Daedalus, and Gashadokador for Tyrant Dragon and Nephthys. Other than that, 3 Ragnarok, because yes, we're playing 2 Decoy Dragon just in case we want to play some pendulum monsters like Eccentric so we can bring it back. We have 2 Tyrant Dragon. The only reason we're playing 2 Tyrant Dragon is so we have 1 that can help us use Tyrant Dragon to special summon Tyrant Dragon. And we have 3 Nephthys and Daedalus because they're good. We have 2 Asymmetaphys, in case we banish a lot of cards. It's likely we'll still have 1 in the deck that we can add to our hand. Same deal goes with Metaphys Dimension. It's important because it's the only removal by spell and trap that we have. Other than that, 3 Metaphys Ascension is just good to have. Going through the extra deck, we have Shaman of the Tenyi. Pretty self-explanatory. If we have 2 worm monsters, we can bring something back from the graveyard, even one of the big synchros. We have Metaphys Horus for Ragnarok and Decoy Dragon together. Because of that, we're also playing Vampire Sheridan. In case we take something with a level, we can overlay for it. We have Final Sigma because of Ragnarok summons a level 8. We can overlay for that, it's very hard to get rid of. We also have Judgment, the Dragon of Heaven. Mo summons a token with the same attribute, which means we can summon this, and we banish cards, which we love. Basha is great because we have Taia, and that can remove 2 cards. We have Angel of Zera because we struggle against monsters with attack higher than 3000. Nothing in our main deck is 3000. The only thing that we have that is 3000 is Baronet, and that's unlikely to stay on the field. We have Shin Shin, we can adjust levels with Emergence, and we can summon this sometimes. Not all the time, but against decks that we know struggle with banishing, it's great to have. And if we happen to have like a zombie and a worm in the graveyard, we can use this and revive it, etc, etc. And we also have Supreme Sovereign Qingying. It's just good. If you get a couple of Necrofaces off, this thing is gigantic. And not everything can remove this, without destroying it, so that's the extra deck. For the side deck, I don't want you to take it too seriously, but I will give you a little bit of my thought processes so you can make your own side deck. This is just to give you a very basic and incorrect idea. So firstly, we have Swordsoul Dragon of the Abyss. It's searchable, we can send it to the graveyard, and against decks with an annoying field spell, this is just brilliant. Because we like to banish field spells, we might as well play a couple of our own. We have Metaphys Factor. We haven't main decked it because it doesn't do a whole lot, but you can main deck it if you like. If you were to main deck it, I would take out Sacred Summit and Pairfish, but I love Pairfish way too much to do that. Against deck out, we have Nail Shadow Ariel and Witchcraft Pittore. We don't care about runics, we have Necroface, and we just like our stuff being banished in general. But against stuff that sends our cards to the graveyard, we have Ariel to banish our own cards from the graveyard if they won't let us do it. And Pittore does the same thing, but from the hand. In the mirror match, because Metaphys, like many Yu-Gi-Oh! Archetypes, hates itself, we have Crossout Designator. If they want to Daedalus us, they're going to have to go through this first. Given that we draw it. Against decks that really don't like having their things banished, we have Dimensional Fissure. We can activate this on our turn. I don't see any reason to play more than one of this. We either open it or we don't. There's not that much point in activating it later in the duel. Against Burn, we have Soul Absorption. It's not great against everything, but if we ever have the opportunity to start banishing things, then this works really well for us. We do need some Spell and Trap Destruction. If they have Imperial Iron Wall, we don't get to play the game. So that's why we have Eccentric, and also complements our Decoy Dragon quite well. And finally, against other decks that like to banish things, we have Chaos Zone. This gives us a lot more play, and we always appreciate having more cards, especially since this deck isn't the strongest when it comes to special summoning. Just quickly before I go, sometimes you won't be able to open Swordsoul, but that's not the end of the world. The other way to play is to grab a Dimension and have a banished Metaphys Ragnarok. And if you don't have Ragnarok banished, you can use something else instead, like Daedalus. It's not entirely foolproof, but it's not too bad. If your opponent starts special summoning, you activate Dimension, you bring back the Ragnarok, and you make trouble for them. That was the deck profile. Thanks very much for checking it out. I will leave links to the deck in the description so you can use it yourself, and give it a spin. I've been doing pretty well with it actually. There are games where you don't get to play, of course, and it's not the best deck around, let's be honest. It's very fun, it's very cheesy. I mean, if you don't mind losing. Let me know what you think in the comments, hit me up with any questions, and tell me what I should pick up for the new year. I'm looking to try something new. Until next time, duel.